for Treasury bills. You're welcome to the program. We have details of these stories and a lot more coming to you in the next 60 minutes. If you stay with us, you could also watch us on DSTV channel 279 or any of our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. If you've already joined us on any of those platforms, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Let's start off with news from Parliament. And the report of the Committee on the Presidential Nominees for Ministerial Positions will be adopted by a secret ballot. Chairman of the Appointments Committee of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu tells TV3 this has been necessitated by the minority members on the committee's position not to approve the nominees. Evelyn Tamer has more in this report.
Before the Appointments Committee of Parliament began vetting of the President's nominees for ministerial positions, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, gave a directive to its members not to approve the nominees. The vetting took place between February 21 and 22. Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa says it is appropriate for parties to direct their MPs.
It is done across the world. It's not new. In Ghana, if you want to know a political party that has given more directives to their parliamentary caucus, is the New Patriotic Party. A recent directive by the General Secretary of the NPP to the majority caucus to walk out on essential motion. The letter is all over the place.
He argued that government should have aligned some ministries.
We had an opportunity where 3 ministers had basically resigned. Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Agric, and then the Chieftaincy Ministry. What an opportunity for the president to reduce his ministers by basically looking at the personnel there and basically moving some of them to these new positions. You listen to the performance of the ministers. Are you sure that we don't have men in this government who could have done better than them in the vetting process?
The chairman of the committee, Joseph Osei-Wusu, indicated that the report, which will be taken to the plenary this week, will be by secret ballot.
Our recommendation will be that the majority says yes, the minority says no. If we recommend approval by consensus, then the decision is taken by a voice vote. But when we recommend by a majority decision, then the report is adopted by a secret ballot.
Our commitment is to make sure that we can get some of the members from the majority side to join us so that we can vote against this nomination when it is brought to the main house. And I think that that's the appeal to members on the majority side. And I know some of them do, that this government must cut costs and must make sure that they reduce the size of government. Join us in this crusade for the people of Ghana.
Well, still in Parliament, the Health Minister, Kwaku Agyeman-Manu, has failed to appear before the Health Committee of Parliament after he was billed to do so. The chairman of the committee, Dr. Nene Friye, said he was not informed of the minister's absence. Now, a member of the committee, Mutaka Mohammed Mubarak, asked that the committee issues a subpoena to get the minister to appear before them.
Then you follow up with the necessary consequence. So, Mr. Chairman and honorable colleagues, it is my belief that because of the importance of this matter, it is only fair that we issue a subpoena on the minister and the Ghana Health Service so that they must mandatorily appear. Mr. Chair, Honorable Chairman, they cannot tell us when they want to come and meet us. That is not acceptable. You write to a minister telling him that I want you to appear on 28th. Now, from your conversation with the chief director, she says that they can appear on the 7th of March. What happens once all these things are happening? Innocent children will be denied the opportunity for this immunization. We, Parliament, we don't even know their representative, don't know what exactly is happening. If you are a member of this committee and anybody accosts you and asks, what's happening with this news about immunization. You seem so, oh, we don't know much. We invited the minister. The minister says he can come on the 7th of March. How are you going to be looking in the eyes of the general public? I don't think that is fair. So, Mr. Chair, we cannot accept the 7th of March. We need to issue the subpoena for either tomorrow. I would have preferred that we issue it for later this afternoon. Because wherever the minister is, with flights across our country, by 4 o'clock he can appear with his team. But if you think that maybe they may have to gather documents and therefore they should rather appear tomorrow, probably at the same time around 10 a.m., I think we need to issue this, but we can't accept.
So clearly, there's a lot happening in Parliament today and at the moment as the health ministers fail to appear before the Health Committee of Parliament. Let's take you there and speak with Evelyn Tegma, who is in Parliament at the moment, who is joining us for some more updates on the happenings in Parliament today. Evelyn, thanks for your time with us on the program. The health minister failed to appear before the committee. Do we know any reasons why that happened? Evelyn, can you hear me? I'm afraid we're trying to connect to Evelyn Tegma, who's in Parliament at the moment, to bring us up to date on the happenings in the House. We understand that the Health Committee is intending to subpoena the Health Minister, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, to appear before the committee to brief the House or the committee on some vaccine shortage situation in the country, as well as steps that the ministry is taking to remedy the situation and the impact that is likely to have on the health care of some Ghanaians in the country. We'll be going back to Evelyn pretty shortly, but let's still stay in Parliament. Now, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Owusu, says it is good to have young people in politics, and for that matter in Parliament, but he is worried about their intellectual and social capacity of being public officers. He urged the political parties to pay more attention to their caliber.
Younger people going into politics is not new with a 30-plus-old democratic dispensation of the Fourth Republic. With over 57% of the country's population under 25 years, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, it stands to reason the political space would be inundated by the youth. And the 2024 parliamentary election promises to be one heavily contested by younger people. A number of younger persons have either declared their intentions to contest parliamentary seats or picked up forms where nominations have been opened. Names that have come up include General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Titus Bayo, Director of Communications at the Presidency, Eugene Ahin, and former Deputy Information Minister, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. Actor John Dumelo, who is seeking a second coming, would contest his friend Fred Nuama for the Ayawaso West Wuogon NDC ticket. For the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Owusu, it is good to have younger people in politics and, for that matter, Parliament, but he is worried about their intellectual and social capacity to being political officers.
Sometimes the parties even go out to recruit people who have not demonstrated that they have the intellectual and social capacity to be public officers. Because they are popular, they can win the seat. That appears to be the only consideration that parties give to people who are going to contest the seat.
He says the political parties are sometimes to be blamed.
The parties would have the responsibility to groom people before they become representatives here. Are not doing anything. I won't even say much. They're not doing anything. Unfortunately, it appears to me that those who are vile in their choice of language, those who are rude in their attitudes towards their opponents, and sometimes even, internal opponents, those who can make the most catching comments about others, are gaining more and more popularity, and they are being put in the front.
The Bekwai legislator says if indiscipline is not kept now, the next 2 to 3 parliaments could turn into a boxing ring.
The level of decorum I observed when I joined in and what I observe today is a vast difference. If you ask me, it is a bad reflection of young people coming to the chamber. I'm afraid that if we don't curb it now, in the next 2-3 more parliaments, we will not have a parliament, we'll have a boxing ring.
Other MPs also indicated the need to have a blend of the experienced and younger MPs.
The young people are learned, they have energy, and the older people have also gotten experience. And so I think that if we have a bit of old people, a bit of young people put together, we will always have a very good parliament.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, recently stressed the need for the country to focus on getting the right human resource to lead, or it will remain underdeveloped. The question remains, what may be driving many young people, most of whom with decent jobs, into politics? Is it a case that they truly want to serve the people, or there is something else? One can only wait and see. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, let's stay a while longer on this interesting subject, because with an ever-increasing youthful population, the Ghanaian youth have harbored the thought of being represented in Parliament by members who can relate to them and their struggles. It appears the 2024 elections may provide that opportunity on a larger scale. But questions arise on sustaining the quality of MPs in Parliament when that happens in the near future. Dozens of young individuals picked up forms to contest the NDC's parliamentary primaries. Though not a rare phenomenon on the Ghanaian political landscape, this year's aspirant may have seen an increase, and that may not be the norm. Former Deputy General Secretary Dr. Peter Boamah Otukono attributes the trend to some gains made by the Ghana Institute for Social Democracy, the NDC party school.
This U-Budge, and the excitement of the young people behind the NDC is expected. The key objective of the establishment of the Ghana Institute of Social Democracy was to build a new generation of political minds who shares the broad aspirations and vision of the NDC. Over the years, what we have done is to target a large mass of young people, and I believe that is part of the reasons why.
The registrar of the school, however, believes there's a long way to go in bridging the gap between the old and the new.
We have a long way to go, though, in providing a platform that will bring in more young people. Even though a lot have come in already, we will need to, moving into 2024, put in some programs that would get the young people rallied and cleansed. It is only the young people clinging to your party and following the course that will bring the victory in 2024. We cannot do that without the young people.
With this new trend, there are inevitably questions on the quality and experiences these new faces are likely to bring to Parliament should they win.
The experience comes in so many forms. And mind you, the young people of today even get the experience more earlier. You cannot have parliamentary experience before you go to Parliament. Then there will not be any essence. Every young person who is worth its salt, who wants to, take on the path of political leadership, learns very fast, and they pick very fast along the way. And you will see that most of the people who have made significant impact in politics are people who started politics at a very young age.
As more young Ghanaians keep manifesting their desire for increased political participation and being at the heart of policy making, political parties have the duty to balance the experience of the old and the energy and dreams of its youthful lot. Well, we'll be exploring this subject further and engage a political scientist on some perspectives of this, coming on the back of the comments by the First Deputy Speaker of Parliament relating to, some levels of inexperience and the youth. The young faces themselves also agreeing to the fact that they may go into Parliament with some levels of quality. We'll be joining Professor Edudzi Mfi, who will join us in a pretty short moment, and then bring to us some perspectives and the dynamics we're looking at whether, the concern we're raising of whether or not these young people going into Parliament will go into the House with the needed quality that the country needs as it, makes laws for the nation. We'll also be looking at the inherent desire of these young ones. Is it a desire to serve, or it is an effort to make money, whether or not they see this as an easy avenue to make money, going into politics as an easy avenue to make money. But in the meantime, let's talk some education. Beginning the senior high school level educational journey comes with mixed feelings for most students. While some get excited for getting to study in their preferred choice of school, others report to school disappointed for being placed in a less endowed school. At first year senior high school students report to school, Ibrahim Abubakar gauges the mood of some students in grade A and C schools.
It is a dream come true for Henry. The 15-year-old has been fancying to attend Prempeh College for his senior high education since childhood. Even when people doubted his conviction to go to grade A school, Henry didn't get discouraged.
People weren't expecting me to attend Prempeh College due to me writing at Ibuakwe MHSD. But thanks to Jehovah, I got the admission, and I promised my people that I'm not going to let them down.
On Monday, February 27, Henry officially reported to Prempeh College to begin his 3-year journey as a science student, beaming with excitement.
It's total excitement for me because it has always been my dream to attend Prempeh College.
Henry is not the only one who is excited to be placed in Prempeh College. Joseph, who came all the way from Tema with his mother, can't hide his joy.
Everybody knows Prempeh. Everybody wants to come to Prempeh. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
But Ibrahim appears unsatisfied with the school he has been placed. Whilst the likes of Prempeh College is endowed with infrastructure, Enuma Samoa Senior High Technical at Achuma Kwauma is challenged. Insufficient classrooms have forced students to conduct classes under trees and canopy. Ibrahim, though, looks disappointed in his new environment. He says he will study hard to excel.
Because I was discouraged when I entered this school the first day because I was expecting to see story buildings in senior high schools and not this structure. The school compound doesn't even look like an SHS, but since I've been posted here, I will only focus on my studies and pass.
16-year-old Sophia got admission at her first choice, St. Louis Senior High School, but she had to take the difficult decision of enrolling in this grade C school.
When I imagine the B schools, then I like to be there, but it's not my fault. It's my grandmother. I posted to St. Louis, but my grandmother need my support at home. That's why he came to this school.
As at the close of first day of reporting, only 7 students out of the 255 posted at Enuma Samoa Senior High Technical School had reported. 216 are yet to come for their admission letter and prospectus. Information gathered indicates most of the students posted in this school will end up not reporting because parents are not happy with the state of the school's infrastructure.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Edum Kwauma, Ashanti region.
Let's now go back to an earlier subject where we here at TV3 are focusing on, and that has to do with a lot of young people wanting to go into Parliament to help in the policy-making process of the nation and engage with Professor Samuel Edu-Gyamfi. For some perspectives on that, he's with the Department of History and Political Science Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, was joining us now. Prof, thank you for your time with us on Mayday Live. Let's begin with the validity of the concern of the First Deputy Speaker on the intellectual and the social capacity of these young people, if you like.
Thanks very much, and thanks for having me. It's been a while, but I think fundamentally we want to ask ourselves, should the youth participate in politics? Should they be interested in the national affairs of the state? And fundamentally, if you look broadly at the literature, is the case that when you have more young people participating directly and indirectly, that you are able to push for development, and for that matter, the sustainability of same, because governance leads to development, and development is not only for the present generation, but also for the future generation. And so if you have younger people who are interested in the politics of the state, as well as the governance of same, what it means is that we are likely to have a good future in the sense of, the kind of developmental democracy where we are able to train, groom young people to take over. The landscape in Africa's politics, if you can look at it broadly, a lot of old people in their late 60s, 70s, and even 80s are governing. That is improper, and I think that it leads to quite of an absurdity. You need the active force to be able to lead. And then you have the older force supporting from behind with the experience and expertise and institutional memory, so that the young people can run with the vision and make the nation stand tall and brighter and brighter. So I think that I find some statements questionable, especially when the youth is underestimated, the youth is disrespected in the name of youthfulness. Maturity is not measured by virtue of old age, by virtue of gray hair, by virtue of longevity on earth. So that maturity has nothing to do with numbers in terms of age or how long someone has lived. You want to ask yourself that such individuals who are presenting themselves within the political sphere, when did they show interest in the politics of this state?
Right.
Some of them might have gotten involved at the age of 18. And so at 30, 35, they might be experienced than 60-year-olds in certain jurisdictions or respects. And so we need to treat this matter on case-by-case basis. Look at individual actors and not lump them together to say that it's going to be worrying to have more youthful people getting involved. But the other thing, which is a critical matter that we should also look at, is the fact that people feel that when they get involved in politics, they are also going to make it, quick, and they are going to be rich overnight. And so I want to believe that this crop of youth or individuals would not be part of this negative drift of the discussion, where people are joining the political space because they are interested in becoming rich overnight. And that in itself does not augur well for our politics and the future of this country.
Prof, thank you. I think you dealt adequately with questions on the capacity of these young people and certain questions that relates to they going into politics for the money or with a desire to serve. Thank you so much, Professor Samuel Adujemfi, for joining us. He is a professor at the Department of History and Political Science Studies at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, speaking with us there. Now, away from the country's borders, let's take you to Nigeria, where Africa's biggest economy, the elections are ongoing. With the country sitting on tenterhooks, a fiercely contested elections, Nigerians are calling on the Independent Electoral Commission to expedite action on the declaration of results. As the streets of Abuja, the National Coalition state constituencies be heavily guarded and quiet. Some Nigerians are urging INEC to focus on its constitutionally mandated role and never budge to pressure.
Anywhere closer to declaring results. What do you make of it?
Actually, what I make of it is that they should take their time to get the real result, because of the, after the election, everybody is trying to play his own role, which is the party agent and other party members. If they make it fast, they will end up giving the wrong person. But if they take their time, we believe that anything they put out there is the real result.
In fact, as I'm telling you now, I'm a man with 4 keys. I don't have anything now with me, even 10 naira. I don't have even 10 naira with me, so I'm not happy over everything. I'm pleading to everyone who is in charge of everything that is happening in this country to consider the poor man like we. I have small soup I have day before yesterday that we make in my house day before yesterday. I'm looking for a way to get even garri. Just right now, I asked this man for 15 naira. Right now, so I'm coming from up there, asking for 15 naira. He said, you don't have anything to offer me now. So I'm not happy. I'm asking everybody who is in charge of all these things that I have to come down, to look pharmacies, to check, come around the market here and see somebody like me. I don't have father with me, a man with 4 kids. So there is nothing I can do. I'm helplessly.
Our expectation of INEC is that the right thing should be done according to the Constitution. And I believe if they follow what the Constitution says, everybody would have no option but to comply with the results as long as it follows what the Constitution says. That's my opinion about it.
Are the delays justified?
I'll be honest to say it's a bit worrisome what might be causing the delay. And I think like the average Nigerian, we're all asking questions, what's causing the delay? What's causing the delay? So we want to hear what the replies are.
Your take on all that is going on at INEC and across the country after the voting?
Yeah, the INEC, they try on their own. Now we are just watching them, let them complete the bringing result. Let us see who they want to give us. Because the way we are seeing, it's not like the way Nigerian youth vote, but the one who they want try to give. But all now, we cannot just decide anything. We are waiting for them until they bring the result. We see who they will declare.
The election has come and gone, but it's not yet over, because we voted for our mind and we voted for the future of this country, which we have no other country apart from Nigeria. So we come out and vote. But what we saw INEC is doing now, they are not bringing the result of what we vote in our polling units, because we have the record and the results of all our units, mostly especially where I vote. I have my results, but when I saw it on TV, it was not what we voted and what we counted at the polling unit. That is not what INEC is bringing. So this one, I feel that INEC is trying to destroy our democracy. Why I put it destroy is this. We think they have made the necessary arrangement by the diva in order not to ring our election again. But after the election, when we want to download our result to INEC portal, they were telling us not available. Whereby we hear that somebody, one person, went and disconnect the INEC portal from Lagos till now. Please, we need an answer. We are Nigerians and we need this suffering to end. Before I was selling this very flags here, 2,500. But for now, this thing now go to 18,000 naira. So we don't know where we are going again. So INEC should please save our democracy and give us our candidates that win the election, which everybody knows. That is my own point of view for now.
Thank you. Well, the elections was a highly contested one. Let's speak with Komola Kluche, who is in Nigeria at the moment. He is in the Coalition Center of the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria for some more updates. Komola, good to have you on the program. So we understand that partial results are in, and it looks like, the governing APC candidates, Bola Tinubu, may be in the lead. Do we have any more figures, and what are we looking at exactly?
As we speak, we do not have any figures on that. There's 14 states have been collated so far, and from the calculations that has been done, we understand that the APC's candidate does appear to be in the lead of right in the excess of over 1 million votes, but that's just 14 states that has been done so far. They still have quite a good number of them to be able to do. I mean, if you go to the south, southwest, the south, southeast, part of the north, and all that, I mean, results haven't come in yet. Today, they're expecting about 10 states to bring their result here. If that is done, that should be amounting to 24. and then maybe tomorrow thereabout they should be having a final lap of it, where hopefully they may be able to have a conclusive way, or they may be able to have a view regarding who is actually going to be making it with respect to that as well.
So, Komla, there was a comment by the former president of the country, Obasanjo, asking that the process be truncated. We understand there's a response from the federal government. What have they been saying?
Okay, so we've just received a statement from the federal Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who said that what the former President Olusegun Obasanjo said, cunningly framed as an appeal for caution and rectification, is nothing but a calculated attempt to undermine the electoral process and willful incitement to violence. The minister expressed shock and disbelief that a former president could throw around unverified claims and amplified wild allegations picked up from the street against the electoral process. Though masquerading as an unbiased and concerned elder statesman, former President Obasanjo is in reality a known partisan who is bent on thwarting by subterfuge and choice of millions of Nigerians. You know, he's a very, very strong words that the Minister of Information used in describing him. But I mean, there are reports of protests across the country at various INEC offices, you know, outside of Abuja and all that. We are also told of some addresses later in the day, hopefully, by the APC, the Labour Party, and then the PDP as well. Tension is gradually rising, and it's beginning to get clear that yes, of course, once it's appearing that the result is not going a certain way, those at the other side that's not going for are pouring either on the streets and all that to be able to register their displeasure. Of course, I mean, since yesterday, the tone has been set that INEC is doing the good people of Nigeria in, and that was made quite clear and loud by the PDP and then the Labour Party. So people are following suit. There's a mistrust of the process by them. They have walked off, they've staged a walkout, not coming back anytime soon. So it does appear INEC is also bent on its constitutionally mandated role of sticking to what it needs to do in terms of the declarations.
Right, Komla, thanks for those updates. So on the streets at the moment, paint a picture for us on what is happening at the major streets of Nigeria, the general mood of the residents there.
Well, I mean, if you're in Abuja, security is quite tight. So you will not even dare attempt to do anything. But then outside in other states, I understand that the people have poured onto the street. We're trying what we can to be able to get some of those pictures, in our subsequent bulletins as well. We also need to do a verification of some of them. Those that we are able to go close to ourselves will be able to film it. But I mean, there's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of, for want of a better word, the country is on tenterhooks now, especially regarding the release of the results. If they are expecting only 10 states for today, just a short while ago, a representative of INEC came and said, okay, they are expecting 5. 5 is ready. They are expecting 5 more to join. And if 5 more joins, what the expectation is that they'll be able to do 10 for today. If you're doing only 10, the days are increasing. The people want to know who has emerged and who put. So there's a greater call on the people for INEC, one, to speed up the process, but equally be mindful of their constitutional mandate. However, there's a mistrust of the process by the political actors who feel that INEC is doing them in at the expense of the ruling APC.
Komla Kluche, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you all the best in Abuja, Nigeria. Komla Kluche joined us from Nigeria as the country is awaiting the results of the elections it held on Saturday. You know that we here at Media General. Media General is your election command center, not only in Ghana, we're extending to other parts of the world as well. Now, back here in the capital, today, February 28, marks exactly 74 years since 3 ex-military men were killed at the crossroad of the Christianbot Castle in Accra. Vice President Dr. Bawumia, who graced the occasion, laid a wreath for and on behalf of Ghanaians and government to commemorate the day. Now, Osu Alata Manche also laid one for and on behalf of the traditional leaders. The Chief of Defense Staff laid one for the military, and the Chairman of the Veterans Association laid on behalf of the retired soldiers. This is Midday Live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and we're going for a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you the latest in the world of business. Stay with us.
His investigative piece on the horrifying state of Ghana's morgues caught the public eye. This time around, he's taking us to the cemeteries.
This is a human skull.
The image of neglect is camouflaged by the scenery.
This you can see right here is a human womb.
Sunken graves.
Oh my, the grave just caved in. Can you imagine?
The abandonment here is glaring. Health experts are troubled.
Somebody is not doing his or her duty. It's not supposed to be like that.
Journey with Godwin Asediba as he reveals a heart-wrenching story on Ghana's creepiest cemeteries. Is the dead truly resting in peace or in pieces?
No Rest in Peace, showing March 1 at 9 p.m. on TV3, TV3 Ghana across social media and 3news.com.
Na me wo me fufuo wo fie na yesi e ma me wo na me ba be pe fufuo bi edi na makache big fish bi a sa bo bi o se 1,000 wudi me chi sa me nyode.
This is the difference between Obochumala and Chumulanga. Oborobo!
You know, sister, this place is residential area.
I'm a residential. I'm in the perfume room.
And now, we're not in a crato.
My dear Ben Quine, for how long now? Oh, 3 years, 4 years, even 5 years. And I'm still eating it.
Why would you go for me? I've been eating it. Why would you? You already said chicken. You may not know. I guess you're the end to me.
Mepemoko ene mamani me pede bon pan bi eya hwi ahwe se na ya cent no betin
mi wa be jina me ko to momoni wo pe wo tan pede ebo fa ka na ko mankasi wo kwa ko market wo so hwehwe ka ko hima no obekire ode ebo
Efiera starting Friday 3rd March at 8:30 p.m. on TV3.
Let's go. Go back.
3FM Gobe Festival.
Gobe Festival. Gobe Festival. Gobe. 3FM.
Gobe.
Gobe. Go. Gobe. Let's Gobe.
Gobe Festival. What's your take on an ideal guy?
I'm attracted to sapiosexuals.
Oh, sapiosexuals. Cool.
The smart guys.
See, I am one.
What's your take for the constitutional review?
See, they are really disturbing. They are worrying. Review. Constitutional review. The call for a constitutional review is not a bad call.
Really?
At all. Especially in the light of the fact that some laws have outlived their usefulness.
This is just gentlemen. I think Afena-Gyan.
Afena-Gyan? Who doesn't know Afena-Gyan? Excellent footballer. Dangerous. Tactical.
There's this show on TV3. It's a music show. Mentor.
I like Mentor. See, my family watches Mentor. Everybody. Hey, see, everywhere Mentor.
What edition?
Eh?
What edition?
Mentor's gonna take you higher.
Don't be clueless. Stay on top of issues with 3news.com and tune in to Media General's radio platforms on the go using 3news.com. When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between. On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamsi.
Ghana Tonight shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3.
You're welcome back to the broadcast. Let's now talk business, and I introduce to you Sani Abdurrahman. You look good, Sani. Good
Thank you, Cosby.
What's coming up in business?
Well, we have the latest from the money market. You know, government last week got some sort of oversubscription as far as T-bills is concerned, and also from China, government is pursuing some debt relief.
How's that going?
A lot of conversation in there, some sort of geopolitics playing in. The West is pushing Ghana to seek some sort of debt release from China. China, we know traditionally is not entertaining any sort of debt relief talks, and that may lead to further delay in Ghana securing the ultimate board approval of the IMF. We have details of that and many more shortly. Thank you so much for your time on the business segment. My name is Sani Abdurrahman. We begin from the money market because financial analyst Joe Jackson has advised investors to be cautious in rushing for treasury bills or risk fueling another round of debt crisis. Mr. Jackson said interest rates on treasury bills are quite high and the government may default if the trend continues.
For 5 successive weeks, the Treasury has surpassed the auction target. Last week, the government accepted all bids for the Treasury bill auction and raised 5 billion cedis. The amounts borrowed exceeded the auction target of 2.89 billion cedis by 75%, increasing the refinancing obligation significantly. Essentially, the government will need to raise more to honor these obligations. Joe Jackson is the Director of Operations at Dalex Finance.
If there is so much supply of funds to the government, shouldn't that result in a reduction in rates rather than an increment in rates? There's something wrong. And I also question why, as Ghanaians, we keep throwing money at the government and why we keep accepting such high rates.
Mr. Jackson advised investors to be cautious in their appetite for T-bills or risk having themselves to be blamed.
My institution is dropping rates. We will not chase or track the government's high, exceedingly high T-bill rates. And I urge all institutions to do the same.
Now, Ghana may have to make some concessions to China if it wants to secure debt treatment from the Asian giant. This is the view of economist Courage Boti. The country owes China about $1.7 billion, making the country the single largest lender to Ghana. And it is becoming apparent that Ghana would need to restructure its debts with China to make it easier for government to secure a program with the International Monetary Fund. Courage Boti, who is the lead researcher at GCB Capital, like many others, believe it will be a tough call to get China to agree to some level of debt treatment, but says it is important for government to make that move.
With them to try to strike a deal. It might involve making some concessions. It might involve making some promises here and there that might not be exactly what we would we would wish for. But I think to the extent that they do not distort our economic plan, it's worth considering. So that if you get that treatment with China, if China plays ball with you, then you have a higher chance of making success with their bilateral creditors, and then you can extend those terms to your commercial creditors also, and we would have been making progress with debt restructuring. So China is worth listening to.
Let's do some energy story because government is being asked to take measures to bring down the price of LPG. The measures industry players are proposing include using Bank of Ghana's auction dollars to import LPG, as well as include the commodity in the Gold for Oil program. 3 Business Ebenezer Ejikum Boateng has been interacting with Vice Chairman of the LPG Marketers Association of Ghana, Gabriel Kumi, and has filed this report.
LPG consumption dropped by some 45 million kilograms, representing 12% reduction in 2022. This is attributed to the continuous increase in the price of the commodity. There are fears that many are turning away from gas, which is cleaner, and resorting to firewood and other fuel sources considered more harmful to the environment. This has prompted analysts and industry players to call on government to remedy the situation. They want government to direct the bulk oil distribution companies to use auctioned Bank of Ghana dollars to import LPG and price it accordingly.
We think government must do more than that. It's for a good reason that government set an objective to increase the penetration level of LPG from 25% to 50% by the year 2030. If we allow prices of the product to go up as it's doing now, it's simply impossible for government objective to be achieved.
Vice Chairman of the LPG Marketers Association of Ghana, Gabriel Kumi, wants government to do all it can to save the sector from collapsing.
Consumption for January was also very, very, very bad. So we will definitely appeal to government to come up with very drastic measures, and government should consider LPG in the Gold for Oil arrangement that we are having currently. They should immediately include the LPG so that it will also help bring the price of the product down. And one other factor that we've always been talking about is the taxes on the product. We believe LPG must be made tax-free. All taxes on LPG and levies must go so that it also help bring down the price of the product.
That's all we have for you as far as business is concerned this afternoon. But as we go, the city continues to make some gains this week. We'll be telling you more at 4:30 when we come your way with Biz Brave. You need to make a date with us. My name is Sani Abdurrahman.
It's about to get more sporty with a touch of super entertainment with your favorite stars.
Times we play the Quitinga, the Chaskele, the football. Who should I take? Tony Cruz? Why?
While keeping you up to date with every trending issue in your world of sports on Warmer Plus.
But in comes Thomas Tuchel and everything changes. And when he said he wanted to be better than me, I was happy.
Let's keep it more sporty and super entertaining.
Warm Up Plus now shows on Saturdays at 11 a.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Betway.
We are on a mission promoting access to quality health and education through the power of our media space. Since 2014, we have made great impact. TV3 mission now drives Ghana's quest to break barriers and provide access to inclusive and quality girls' education, together with women's maternal health services. Our mission to address the needs of the socially excluded has won the admiration of many. Indeed, TV3 Mission gets you the results. Mission is live on TV3 News 360 every Saturday and Sunday. Supported by Star Ghana Foundation, with thanks to Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Welcome back to the program. It's time for the latest in sports. A record coming up.
Thank you very much, Crosby. We'll be looking at, Lionel Messi and his record extending win of the Player of the Year. That's the FIFA Men's Player of the Year. We'll also be getting some reactions and how the Ghanaians voted in the awards.
That's interesting to know.
Yeah. But we do start off with Messi because he's been named as the Men's Player of the Year at the 2022 ended Best FIFA Awards. Now, the 35-year-old beat coveted prize. Messi captained Argentina to World Cup glory in Qatar, winning the first trophy. That's the world stage in 36 years, and scored 27 goals in 49 games for club and country in the year 2021-2022.
I have achieved all the titles before, but the World Cup was the only one I was missing. I was lucky to win all the titles, and it was amazing to achieve my dreams. It was very special. Important title. I have achieved all the titles.
Well, we still stay with the best awards because the winners of the accolades were reviewed at a glittering Paris ceremony on Monday, 27 February. The best men's and women's player and then goalkeeper and coach awards were voted by national team captains and coaches as well as journalists across the globe. Now, time for some Ghanaian interest. Interestingly, none of the captains of the Ghanaian national team voted for the various categories. Remember, it is not mandatory for captains of each member association to vote, but FIFA expects them to. But for the head coach, Otto Addo delegated his voting mandate to his assistant George Boateng. For the men's player of the year, Boateng voted Kylian Mbappe first, Lionel Messi second, and then Neymar third. Well, there has been some controversy attached with the best awards. It's always the case. This time, Austria captain David Alaba says that it was a team decision for him to vote for Lionel Messi over his own teammate Karim Benzema as Men's Player of the Year at the Best FIFA Awards. The defender received abuse on social media for not choosing teammate Benzema. Argentine forward Lionel Messi won the accolade on Monday ahead of Benzema and then Kylian Mbappe. To some basketball now, where LeBron James of Los Angeles Lakers may miss multiple weeks with an injury to his right foot. A person familiar with the situation said on Monday night. The full extent of the injury is not yet known and more test results are pending, said the person, who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of the anonymity because neither James nor the Lakers have announced anything about a long-term absence yet. That's how we wrap up the sports here. If you're after some more sports stories, you can follow us on Twitter at 3SportsGH. My name is Oreko Ampofo. Up next on the bulletin is entertainment with Noella.
Good afternoon. Let's do some entertainment here on Midday Live. My name is Noella. Now, founder of 3 Music Awards, Sadiq Abdullahi Abu, is looking forward to extend the positive excellence he is known for in the entertainment industry to politics, to impact lives in Okaikwe Central, where his plans to become MP pushes through. Baba Sadiq told Owusu Orai he has the passion to serve and meet the aspirations of the people.
Interactions with the delegates of my constituency points to one thing. They're excited to have somebody like me run on the ticket of the NDC. Also because a lot more of them understand the dynamics. They understand that the constituency generally would look to certain qualities to validate or vote for a particular candidate to become their MP. Fortunately, I have all of their qualities and more.
Having been at the forefront of providing relief to people in the Okaikwe Central constituency, Baba Sadiq feels strongly that the time is now to offer himself to serve and impact lives in the constituency. Come May 13, the young and dynamic entertainment personality is hopeful delegates of the NDC will give him the nod to contribute his quota to developing the constituency.
Looking to extend whatever positive excellence I'm known for, particularly for my noble achievements in the media entertainment industry, to politics. And then obviously leverage the highest decision-making platforms to ensuring the sustainable livelihoods of my constituency.
Baba Sadiq, as he is affectionately called, is convinced he is the surest bet to change the political fortunes of the NDC and reclaim the Okaikwe Central seat, which has since its creation in 2012 been held by the NPP.
Well, my interactions with the delegates of my constituency points to one thing. They're excited to have somebody like me run on the ticket of the NDC. Also because, I mean, a lot more of them, particularly those that have been in the constituency for long, understand the dynamics. They understand that the constituency generally would look to certain qualities to validate or vote for a particular candidate to become the MP. Fortunately, I have all of their qualities and more.
The founder of the 3 Music Awards is one of 4 entertainment personalities who have expressed interest in contesting the NDC's upcoming primaries and ultimately securing seats in Parliament.
Well, we're definitely wishing him all the best and we'll bring you updates on that. But on the 4th of March, there's the biggest Gorbet Festival happening at the Tetekwashi Interchange close to the Accra Mall. Consequently, we'll bring you details on that. But that's how we wrap up on entertainment here on Midday Live. My name is Noella Crosby. Over to you.
Let's now bring you the latest outside the Ghanaian border in international news. Now, French President Emmanuel Macron has described the Russian mercenary Wagner Group as the life insurance of failing regimes in Africa. In comments made before he visits the continent, he said that African nations would eventually stop turning to the Wagner Group as they would see that it only sows misery. Meanwhile, President Macron says French bases in Africa will soon be co-run with host nations. Well, that's our package this afternoon for you. We came to you from our News Hub studios here at number 35, John Hammond Street in Accra. My name is Noble Crosby, and there's more news on our website, 3news.com. Do well to log on for the latest in the world of sport, entertainment, business, general news, and of course, you could also join your favorite cartoonist, Tilapia, also. With them, we have the entire production team. Thank you so much for watching the program. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.